It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And welcome to Car Con Carne. Welcome back to the working week. I'm James Van Alstyne. The show tonight brought to us by our friends at Siren Records in McHenry, over there on Main Street. My guest tonight, he is a long celebrated Chicago singer songwriter. We love this guy, Steve Dawson. Hello, Steve.
Hey, how are you?
The new album, At the Bottom of a Canyon in the Branches of a Tree, is coming out on the venerable PRAVDA Records label on July 16th. And just to kind of set the tone for where these songs are coming from, and these very introspective, almost moody songs, you were in a pretty dark place for a while over the past several years, weren't you?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say so. That sort of started around the time of the last election, and then we had some deaths in the family. Both of my wife's parents passed away at the end of 2017. And yeah, it just sort of sent me into like a what's the point of anything kind of situation.
Well, you just walked away from music and said, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah, I just felt like I was kind of going through the motions and didn't feel like writing anything. And I quit some of the bands I was in. Dolly Varden is still alive, but I didn't quit that one. But we also don't play very often. But I quit. I was a side man in a handful of bands, so I sort of discontinued those projects and just sort of like tried to see what it would be like to not play shows and not write songs, and it was actually really helpful.
Was this like imposter syndrome at the time? Like you just didn't think like you're doing the right stuff, or you just weren't feeling it?
I wasn't feeling it. It was more of a chore. There was no joy in it. Yeah, it was kind of joyless and more of like every time I had a show or something, I would be like, "Ugh, I don't want to do that." Which is not a good place to be.
Certainly not.
I mean, music should be joyous, even if it's sad music. Should be, a sort of spiritual, celebration of some kind, or an aim for transcendence on some level. So, yeah, that was not happening.
So you mentioned Dolly Varden. You have been a part of the Chicago music scene for many years now. I mean, dating back to the 90s, if not earlier.
Oh, earlier even. Stump the Host was...
That's right.
Was 88 to 92, 93.
I guess the first question, Steve, is how come you don't age?
I do. It's all on the inside.
Okay. That makes sense. Because you don't look it. So having been in this scene, this market, this music community for as long as you have, I mean, you've seen the highs and the lows. I mean, you've for ill and for well.
Yeah.
How would you, we'll talk more in depth about your music, but how would you characterize the Chicago music community?
Wow. I mean, the current or just over the...
Or maybe the evolution from Stump the Host through the present. I mean, if you can, how would you characterize...
Well, there was a lot fewer bands in the late 80s. And it seemed like everyone was kind of in their own little community. People didn't intermingle as much then. But it was
everyone was kind of siloed at that point.
Yeah. So, like now, I play music with lots and lots of different people, and everyone, we share lots of musicians play in everybody else's bands, and there's a real communal situation that's great. That's wonderful. That was not happening at all, and it could be because I was new to town and I didn't know that many people, but. It didn't seem like that was a thing that was going on then. It was easier, I think, to get shows because there were fewer bands. And I think there was also fewer venues.
That's probably true, yeah.
But Chicago the entire time has been a place where people will go out to see music and will go out to see original music, which is, I've learned, is very unusual. Not a lot of cities have that.
I've had people tell me that over and over through the years, and my only experience is Chicago. And that's like, I can't even imagine a scene where it's punctuated with half cover bands.
Most cities you go to, if you're touring, you look at their list of what's coming or what's been, the half of the bands are, an REM cover band or a, Bob Seger cover band or something like that.
By the way, at this point, I would take an REM cover band because I miss the band.
Right.
I would settle for an REM cover band. I'd be good with that.
Yeah.
But I guess the reason why I was kind of looking at this from a broad perspective, for you to have been in and around this music scene as long as you have, to have kind of lost the passion, the drive, everything. That's a pretty dramatic thing for someone who's contributed so much.
Yeah, and it could have been that I had been just sort of going and going and going for so many years that I needed to take a reassessment and take a break.
So what relit the spark?
Two things. One was my friend Jenny Beneman and I put together a songwriting group that would meet once a month. And the only requirement was you had to bring a new song for the group. And it's about 6 people. And we started it in the middle of 2018, and it's still going. We just met this last weekend. So that is one thing. And the other was this, right, like in December of 2017, after Diane's father had died, I got an email announcement from Richard Thompson. He does this yearly guitar and songwriting camp in the Catskills.
Wait, is this a different Richard Thompson that plays guitar, or is this Richard Thompson?
The Richard Thompson, the genius,
legend,
British, yeah. So he does a thing where he just for a week sits in the mountains and talks about songwriting and guitar to a group of maybe 60 people. And I've always wanted to go, but it's pretty expensive. But that year I just said, I'm doing it. I'm going to go. And it just so happened that his guest for the week was Patty Griffin, who's another person who I'm a huge fan. Mm-hmm. And so going out there that summer, that was about this time of year, and spending a week around them really made me remember why I started writing songs in the first place. This sort of purity of it and the intention of it, and also the level that they both create at and continue to. Patty Griffin is, I think, exactly my age, and Richard Thompson, I'm not sure he's probably almost 70, I guess. And he's never stopped, right? I mean, he's kept at it since he was like 19. So, that was the thing that really gave me a kick in the pants, and I thought, well, okay. I came home from that just fired up to write and record and make a new record and to sort of like just write straight into the things I was thinking and feeling.
And here we are at the bottom of a canyon in the branches of a tree. I love the way it was written in the press release. I don't usually read press releases or quotes in press releases, but I thought this was really eloquent. The album revisits depths that many of us have experienced in recent years and takes us to heights to which we all aspire. I mean, it kind of represents the highs and lows of what's going on here. And there is inspirational kind of stuff. The whole album starts with, I think, one of the best lines on the album. The first line on the album, it's not going to be all right, so what are you going to do about it?
Which, that was the thing that kept coming back to me, because over the last couple of years, as just these awful things keep happening, the pandemic being, I guess, the latest, but prior to that, it's, all these shootings and just these awful things that keep happening. It's just like, at some level, people would say, oh, it's going to be all right. It's like in some of it's at some point you're just like, no, it's not going to be all right. This is not all right.
Mm-hmm.
And yet here we are. We have to continue, right? You can't just fall to the ground and not do anything. So yeah, that was that was a thought that definitely was prominent in my mind, and it seemed like the right thought to open the record.
Yeah, it's like a mission statement, and the song in particular is "This Is All There Is," and then that's how the album opens. I love the first single, 22 Rubber Bands. It has these like shimmering keyboard sounds that I just love. You go pretty falsetto on this, and there's a big full bass line. I think that was a wise choice to come out of the gate with.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was Ken at PRAVDA's idea to put that one out first, but it seemed like a good idea. I mean, I always, it seems to me like on my records, I have a lot of pretty heavy songs, and then at least one song that is just sort of over the top joyous, maybe to sort of balance things out on some level. So this was definitely the fun song on the record, and yeah, I had a lot of fun making it.
There's probably a life lesson in the song "The Spaces in Between." I made a wish, it did not come true. I found other things to do.
Right. One reviewer said the album is filled with resignation, which is true, but it's not it wasn't even in a negative way. It's just kind of true. It's just kind of like, all right, okay.
I look at this as figuring shit out in a cynical time.
Yeah, exactly.
And one song that is a little less clear to me, or maybe how literal is "Hard Time Friend"? You tell a story in this song.
Oh, that one's real literal. That's me moving to Chicago and meeting Diane. So Diane.
Oh, that's your origin story.
Yeah.
That's like getting bitten by the radioactive spider. That's what we're getting right there.
Exactly. Diane would be the radioactive spider in that.
The road trip through Ohio in the rain.
Yeah. I drove through Ohio. We blew a tire out, and thankfully some kind-hearted other travelers stopped to help us because we were doomed.
So it is a very emotional, contemplative album. You plug the guitar in for the title track.
Yes,
I like that. It's a smoky, bluesy song towards the back of the album.
Yeah, I originally had a double album worth of recordings that so I came back from that week workshop at the Richard Thompson thing, and I recorded a ton of stuff. So there were more songs with like electric lead guitar, but as I pared it down to a single album, because that just seemed like a smarter idea in the current world, that was the only one with a lot of guitar on it that remained. But yeah, I had a ton of fun playing that. I think that one is pretty obviously a nod to Neil Young and Crazy Horse, which I just, I love Neil. I love everything about Neil. I love his songs. I love his guitar playing. I love his singing. So yeah, I just went full Neil Young on that one.
I love it. And as we talk about some of the more emotional sounding songs on the album, "I Will Never Stop Being Sorry." To me, that song sounds so personal. I feel almost uncomfortable listening in. I feel like
sense.
I feel like I shouldn't be listening. I should skip through to the next song because you're sharing too much.
Yeah, that's true. I feel that way sometimes about Joni Mitchell's songs. It's just like, oh, I shouldn't be hearing this. That song was actually written from an assignment that Patty Griffin gave at that thing, which she played. I Put a Spell on You by Screamin' Jay Hawkins, and then said, use this as a template to write something. So that's where the groove comes from, that doom, 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 that 12/8 minor thing. And then she also said, write the song that you're afraid to write. So that's where that one came from.
I have a lot of musicians who will watch and listen to this podcast, and I think a great takeaway for them is, here's a guy who we've known for years, primarily through Dolly Varden, but who's been a tremendous songwriter for decades running. But even guys like Steve Dawson need to get regrounded sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's okay to raise your hand and say, I need to just recalibrate and just figure out where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't claim to have any answers.
Well, I think the answer is listen to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which you did. And, you you refound your muse.
Yeah.
Although hanging out with Richard Thompson would do that for anyone, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we are. The album comes out in mid-July. Obviously, you're in a different place than when you were a few years ago. Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling really good now, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
You've actually got live shows on the calendar.
Yeah. Quite a few, actually.
Quite a few, actually. The record release show. Do they still call it record release? It's on vinyl. It's a record release show.
Yes.
I will always call it. I will always call it a record release show.
Yeah, I like to call it a record release show.
That's happening at Fitzgerald's on the 17th. You are solo at Hey Nani in August.
The Hey Nani is going to be pared down, but it's still going to have Alton Smith on piano and Tommy Zender on guitar and Diane singing. So no rhythm section, but
great stuff. And then you're playing in Evanston with Dolly Varden on Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
How good does it feel to be able to say, yeah, we got a couple gigs coming up. Come on out to the show.
It's great. I played just a throw together show at the Montrose Saloon a couple of Mondays ago, indoors, no masks. And at first it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then within about 10 minutes, it was like, all right, this feels pretty good.
It's so weird. My office is going to be opening back up in the next couple of weeks where I work, and everyone's going to be walking in and they're going to be maskless. And I know it's going to be very strange.
Yeah.
It's just shaking that all off.
Yeah,
and
no,
moving forward.
It's been a long time. It's been over a year. So
yeah.
We've been very, very conditioned to be afraid. But yeah, it felt real good to play music live. And yeah, I've put together a great band.
Well, let's talk about them. You mentioned Alton Smith, Tommy, Diane, and who else is in the band?
John Abbey's on bass and Larry Brown on the drums.
It's an all-star cast.
Yeah, kinda. I kind of got lucky that everyone agreed to do it. Yeah, so I'm calling them the Lucid Dreams. So Diane named them. So it's Steve Dawson and the Lucid Dreams is the name of this incarnation of things.
I love it. Okay, so the album again comes out on PRAVDA, July 16th. One day after that, we can hear those songs live on stage, which is awesome, at Fitzgerald's. And onward and upward. I'm glad this album is what it is. I'm also heartened to know that there's a companion piece just kind of sitting on your shelf waiting for the next go round.
Yeah, so I don't know, that stuff will come out at some point. I don't know what the smartest way to do that is, but I'll figure it out.